Who are the Vikings? Everyone have this question. Let's begin. The name Vikings is often used broadly to refer to the people who lived in Scandinavia and the North Atlantic settlements during the Viking Age, which is typically defined as the period between 793 and 1066 AD. However, it's important to note that most of these people did not call themselves Vikings. The word Viking comes from the Old Norse term Vikings, which means pirate or raider. In reality, raiding was only a part-time occupation for a small percentage of the population. The majority of Viking society were farmers who primarily engaged in agricultural activities. They were also entrepreneurs, viewing raiding as a means to acquire capital that could be invested in various endeavors, such as ships, farms, or businesses. While many Viking men were familiar with weapons, they were not professional soldiers. They were individuals who balanced farming with occasional raiding or trading ventures. What happened to the Vikings? Using the defined Viking Age as a basis, it can be said that nothing significant happened to the Vikings as a distinct group. After the Viking Age, these people continued to live in Scandinavian countries and in the settlements established during that time, such as Iceland and Greenland. The decline of the Vikings as raiders or pirates occurred when they stopped raiding European territories. Why did the Vikings stop raiding? The cessation of Viking raids can be attributed to several factors. At the start of the Viking Age, Norse society was relatively egalitarian, with many free, landowning farmers who had the resources and time to participate in raids. However, by the end of the Viking Age, a shift had occurred, leading to a concentration of wealth among a few privileged individuals and a larger number of landless individuals tied to the land they worked. This shift made many Viking men unavailable for raiding due to their responsibilities on the farms. European societies, where Viking raids took place, also underwent changes. At the beginning of the Viking Age, many of these lands lacked central authority figures and were governed by local chieftains or petty kings. However, by the end of the Viking Age, most European lands had strong central authorities with trained standing armies capable of defending against Viking attacks. Viking raiders, while skilled in combat, were not organized as professional troops and struggled against these trained defenders. As a response to Viking raids, some of the prime targets, like monasteries, fortified or relocated inland, making them less vulnerable to Viking attacks. This made raiding less profitable. Spread of Christianity. The arrival of the Christian Church in Viking lands coincided with the decline of raiding. The Church's teachings did not align with Viking raiding practices, and some leaders began discouraging raiding on religious grounds. When did the Viking Age end? The Viking Age is often marked as ending in 1066, particularly after the Battle of Stamford Bridge, when the Norwegian King Harald Hård was repulsed and killed in his attempt to regain part of England. This battle is considered one of the last major Viking incursions into Europe. In conclusion, the decline of the Vikings as raiders was not due to conquest but rather a combination of societal, political, and cultural changes in both Viking society and the lands they targeted for raids. The Vikings continued to exist as distinct peoples, but their activities shifted from raiding to other pursuits, and they became known by their regional identities, Danes, Swedes, Norwegians, etc., rather than simply as Vikings. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more insightful content, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.